everybody, and welcome to Technically Correct. We're geeks who drink, and here's how this whole thing works. In our first round, our director AJ will give us some questions from the Geeks Who Drink archives. We panelists will have 2 minutes to debate and then finally choose an answer for the group. At the end of the 2 minutes, we'll decide on our final answer, and AJ will tell us if we're right. Lather, rinse, repeat. If you're watching this live, we're watching the chat. Please chime in if you have anything witty or interesting to say about the question, but whatever you do, please don't shout out the answers. We can be wrong all by ourselves. Thank you very much. Before we get started, let's meet our panel. Joining us this week from Colorado, he's sometimes a host, sometimes a director. Today he's on the panel. It's Derek. From North Carolina, she loves tea. And maybe she'll spill some tea. It's Lea.
Hey, everyone.
And keeping us young as always from Chicago, it's our senior youth correspondent, Naaim.
Yeah, I got promoted to senior youth correspondent. That's great.
I just did that on the fly. That's
I'm
like
happy. Listen, I'm
promotion I gave you.
A way to bring the room down, Naaim. Maybe some people weren't aware that the comedy genius is now dead.
If I was the one who just informed you that Norm Macdonald passed away, I'm sorry, but I think that's the way he'd want it.
Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. We will drink in your honor. Well, I think we should continue as Norm would want us to with some witty questions. AJ, can we have our first question?
Absolutely. Your first question of the evening. Sir Mix-a-Lot became Nicki Minaj's fan for life after hearing what song?
Well, I mean,
was it the one about giant testicles?
Probably not. But
Maybe the one
if
about
you know anything
large
about
digits.
Mix-a-Lot's catalog, I mean, she sampled one of his songs quite liberally in one of her hits.
Big ears, that's the one, right? Big ears.
Yes. The biggest.
Or was it feet?
There are certain body parts that he likes to be bigger than others. Let's put it that way. But
Not the same ones that she was interested in, however.
But
That's
she
true.
did sample one of his songs for that body part that she preferred.
You know, his homeboys tried to warn him.
But that she has makes him quite randy.
Well, that's a sample from Two Live Crew.
See, we're just going all over the rap verse here.
Going back, all the way back. So I heard this question and my brain just started hearing Nicki Minaj as though she was in there. So I believe the song in question is the one that starts, "Big boy named Troy used to live in Detroit. Big dope deal of money. He was getting some coin." And if that's correct, sorry, I'm bad at rapping. Then the
I would like to hear more of this rap by you.
I was ready to go.
I mean, I can pick it up if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah, because her anaconda don't. You see, her anaconda don't. Her anaconda is not a good improviser because her anaconda says no a lot. And I'm not sure if her anaconda is supporting her scene partner. I have a lot of problems with her anaconda.
Where's the yes and energy, Nicki Minaj?
Exactly, come on.
Yes, and
because it,
anaconda?
lady.
No, that was...
No, I chuckled. It was on the inside, but I chuckled.
That's
the best kind of comedy audiences. Laugh on the inside.
Laugh on the inside. That's what we want.
But I'm definitely going to say anaconda.
Yeah, that seems right.
Unless you got buns, hon. That was me rapping. So, don't ever worry about yours.
AJ, thanks for making us all rap.
Pardon? You rap a lot like who was the host of Masterpiece Theater? That's what I'm seeing in my head is like some old English dude.
One of the Attenboroughs?
I can't remember who it was. I mean, it was on PBS, like 50 years ago.
Alistair Cook. Thank you to our producer, Alistair Cook.
AJ has told us that we are correct. Isn't that right?
Yes, it is, in fact, anaconda.
Put it up on the screen a full 15 minutes ago. We just kept going.
All right, that's what happens. You talk.
Or as Naaim said, Yes, Anaconda.
Yes, Anaconda.
Yes, Anaconda.
Like a 5 anaconda rush if you're playing flag football.
Our producer has also told us that this year, Anaconda became the first music video for a solo female rap song to hit 1 billion views. So
Nicki
that's
Minaj is
equality.
a very popular rapper.
She is. It's true. AJ, can we get another question?
Absolutely. Question number 2 of the evening. An eccentric gold miner discovering a basketball was an early logo for what NBA team?
I mean, I know this because they're not that far from me.
Right.
But for years, they were one of the worst teams, not just in basketball, but in all of sport. There was a season when this particular team only won, 7 games out of a 4 billion game season?
82.
Now,
It's only 82.
You're a basketball fan, so I may be exaggerating, but I think you can fill in the gaps.
Seattle Supersonics hat today, yes, and who it's not because they don't play basketball anymore. Or I guess they technically do, but it's in Oklahoma City. Yeah, well, we know it's not the San Francisco 49ers. That might be a guess of somebody who doesn't know anything about sports. That was
basketball.
That's football. It was a gold rush. Yeah. My
question is whether this logo would have been clear enough that you knew it was actually a basketball. Because if all you can see is somebody digging something out of the ground, it could be a lot of things.
Well,
it's not like he was just carrying 2 of them around like
what
ding
about
dong
this
ding.
figure makes him eccentric? Is he wearing a boa?
Maybe he's like a monocle. I don't know.
He was. Did you ever see the stereotype of the old prospector? Those old West movies. Well,
yeah, in Toy Story 2.
Found the gold. That
so
was
he
what the
wasn't much
cartoon.
of a ball player
looked
looking
like.
kind of guy, I guess.
Oh, he was the very stereotype of the old prospector.
But what about that is eccentric?
Because people who spend years out isolated from other people looking for their fortune go insane.
So
It's
by
a clinical
definition, so
thing.
you're saying that by definition, gold miners are eccentric, but then wouldn't it be redundant to call a gold miner eccentric if he's
It
already
is, but I
eccentric?
didn't want to call out the question writer for being redundant because I have a little bit more decorum than that, Leah.
No, I
what I
really
will
pictured him wearing a cool hat or something. I don't know.
What I will say is that the Denver Nuggets have been bad in history,
But they're good now.
They are good now, but they also have had a lot of really cool jerseys. You go to their jersey history, and it's one of the coolest in the NBA.
Yeah, they had a good stretch where they had the weird 70s rainbow look, and then they went with the super 90s bold colors, and now they're back to looking pretty cool again.
The 90s is pretty rough for most
For
sports
everybody,
franchises.
though. I mean, if you think about the 90s Pistons, the Detroit
And I was
Pistons.
just about to say the 90s Pistons with the horse, which is
with the weird green. Yeah.
very, very nostalgic for me, but I can tell it's empirically just not good. And a weird shade of teal.
Fashion talk with Derek and Naaim.
Sports fashion. Next, they'll be talking starter jackets. AJ, is it the Denver Nuggets?
It is the Denver Nuggets.
Yay.
Yay.
Speaking of sports fashion, I'm going to go grab my goalie helmet soon.
That makes me feel like you might look like Jason, the horror figure.
That's an old timey.
Yeah, that would be the old timey one. But let's just move on and we'll see what happens later.
Please
if I
don't
drink
wear that.
more.
It's too early for Halloween. Wait till October.
Is it ever really too early for
You're not my real mom.
That's on facts.
He's gone to get it.
Quick while he's gone. All right. Well, we might have to soldier on without horror movie Derek.
Are you ready for your
There we
next
go.
question? Jesus Christ.
That's fantastic. That's a good
It
looking
is
mask.
frightening.
That's
solid. Did you paint that yourself?
No, it was done by David Gunnarsson in Sweden. He does most of the NHL.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you wear that while you drive around your Mad Max car?
I'm peeking, but I'm scared.
I can tell all y'all don't watch hockey. That's a great hockey mask.
This is a top flight mask. Yeah. It's
That's fantastic.
I'm very proud of it. I've had it since 2004.
What does the chin do? It looks like it's supposed to.
It stops pucks from hitting your chin and breaking your teeth.
Yeah.
I
mean,
approve.
I've had things sneak through here and cut me real bad. I've been hit in the throat. But yeah, the idea is that you don't die when you're wearing it. It's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Well, now that Derek is outfitted for all of the insults that we might throw at him, maybe we should have another question.
Your next question, panel. A pig slaughtering scene spelled failure for the Broadway musical based on what Stephen King novel?
Well, I mean, if we know our Stephen King canon, every single book or movie probably fits into this, but we know for a fact that it's not Sleepwalkers, that god-awful cat people movie.
Listen, until they said Stephen King, I thought it was going to be Charlotte's Web. I was like, that's a very dark turn on Broadway for Charlotte's
Is
Web.
it Babe?
We're going off script here.
Yeah, imagine if they ended the Babe musical with Babe getting slaughtered. That's
Babe,
rough.
pig in the abattoir.
Well, we also know that Stand By Me isn't really known so much for the blood gushing scenes.
That's actually my favorite scene in The Green Mile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally don't know. So I might be stumbling across the right answer. But in Carrie, when does the blood at the prom, is that pig's blood?
It's pig's blood, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah.
That is what I would say, yes.
My favorite
would've been
line
my
in the
guess.
movie Carrie. I mean, I'm sure you've all got your favorite lines from the movie Carrie because it's a very quotable movie. But my favorite is when her mom says, "They'll be able to see your dirty pillows." And from that point on, I was like, holy shit, that's a phrase? That's a thing? So, yeah.
Apparently now it is.
It is
I'm not a big horror movie person, so I've never seen the original Carrie. I did see the remake in the theater with an old girlfriend. It was, fine. Chloe
Your
Grace
old
Moretz was
girlfriend
great.
played Carrie?
Yeah.
No wonder she's your ex.
Julianne Moore was in it.
Oh, she's delightful.
She's great. She played the
Wow,
mom.
I don't remember that.
So a little less delightful, but yeah. She's a great actress.
I've never
she's good
seen
in everything she
Carrie.
does.
Absolutely.
I just knew that there was the prom blood and that perhaps it was pig's blood. So
It does seem
It
a little
is known
much
for
to
blood.
add a pig slaughtering scene because there's not a pig. They don't slaughter the pig in the movie, right? They capture the
They
pig.
don't.
Well, but how
And
do
then
they
they
get
have
the blood? Do you think
blood.
they just gave him a nice,
No,
clean
obviously the pig
transfusion?
gets
Or-
slaughtered,
Screen.
but it happens off screen. So it's weird
like-
to add it into the musical.
They're like, "Hey, pig, you want to be a blood donor?" And he's
Do
like,
they-
"Check
like,
my
is there a
license. I
song?
think I do."
It's like we gotta slaughter the pig. Like, is that?
oh, it's a musical.
Well, maybe
It is.
Well, that's right. It is a musical.
Well,
it is a
if they
musical,
didn't,
right?
then
So,
that's where they went wrong.
Maybe.
yeah,
Pig needed
there's got to be a whole song and dance number.
Need a whole overture.
We're being told that Carrie originally premiered in the UK in 1988 and closed after 16 previews and 5 regular performances.
I'm
So it
surprised they got out of previews.
How the hell did it make 16 previews? with
16 previews.
It was
those
controversial.
people that showed up, man.
Yeah. It looks like AJ's telling us we're correct. It's Carrie, right?
It is, in fact,
Sure looks like Carrie.
Hooray. Well, I'm sad that none of us will get to see that musical. Or am I?
I'm sad.
There's
Just
a
holding out for
revival.
live
They
performances.
might do a revival.
Now that Jerry
never
Lewis
know.
is dead, I'm just holding out for live performances.
Do you
of the
think
day
it was
the
like a
clown
producer
cried.
situation where somebody was like, what's the worst musical we can make and still get paid for it? And they were like, a Carrie musical?
Well,
Springtime for Carrie.
let's move on from this gory scene. AJ, what's our next question?
Your next question. The opera La Traviata was so good that Julia Roberts almost peed her pants. In what movie?
It's not Carrie, right?
Not that I'm
It's not
aware
going
of.
to carry, no. And
It could be Ocean's 12.
actually, I thought you said Triviata, and I was like, oh, there's an opera about trivia? Because, I'm a nerd, so that sounded like fun.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Technically correct.
Highbrow here.
gonna
I
be the
mean,
next
I'm
thing
not, I'm
Minimal
honestly
goes
not
into.
that well versed in the whole Julia Roberts canon. Did she go see a musical at any point in time during that movie where they were like trying to help people with cancer?
Erin Brockovich.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There was that one scene where she takes the entire village, the entire community to go see. I don't know. No, there's no.
In Runaway Bride, was she running to the opera? Was she just late for a show?
That may have been it.
In what was it? Eat, Pray, Love, or whatever the hell she was. That like Under the Tuscan Sun. What was that?
That's
Again,
Under
I don't
the
know
Tuscan
much
Sun
about
is,
her.
Diane, what's her face?
Oh, see,
Beast?
now you know.
Lane?
Lane,
Lane.
I think.
I think it's more likely Lane than Weast. I don't know why I went with Weast first. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's in my head.
Well, okay, so I'm pretty sure it's not Pretty Woman because I have seen that movie multiple times, but also this sounds like something that her character from Pretty Woman would do.
Well, didn't they all get all dressed up and go places together?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen like a GIF of this, but I could be wrong. I've not seen Pretty Woman, but that's what
Well, you
my
need to
guess
fix
would
that.
be. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I
He's
have
got
every
many
intention
more
to get
years
around
than
to it.
anybody
that
else
was
here
that was
has.
not like a blow off. There's like a million movies that I need to watch that I'm gonna get around to.
We've all got our list. No,
I do like rom-coms. Let me be very clear here. I'm not blowing off rom-coms. It's a great genre.
Was Pretty Woman.
I think it's Pretty Woman.
It actually gets my vote.
I don't think it's Pretty Woman, but I'm gonna go with you guys. Naim, do you have objections?
I would also agree Pretty Woman.
All right, they're gonna say Pretty Woman.
Well, Pretty Woman is a good guess and absolutely correct.
Yay!
Way to absolve yourself of the right answer, Nicole.
But also still get credit for it because I was the first one to say it.
That's true. I was beating around the bush, giving you a chance to say it.
I was right, but I was also wrong, but also right. You're welcome.
Just kind
You're
of
technically correct.
what happened with Carrie. So, you're on a roll.
Yeah. Next, they're going to ask about video games, and I won't be no help whatsoever. Our producer told us that Molly Ringwald turned down the role in Pretty Woman because she was uncomfortable playing a prostitute. Arguably, however, her earlier films were more problematic than sex work.
I would say so.
Only with the fullness of time have we fully realized that, though, so I will let it go. Nothing against Molly Ringwald. She had a nice article about watching the movies she was in with her daughter as a teenager and having to unpack that. So good for
Molly
her.
Ringwald sounds like a disease that dogs get.
Oh, I don't want to think about that anymore. AJ, can we have a different question that's not about parasites?
Absolutely. Continuing the apparent theme of the round, what musical turned album turned musical ends with everyone raising a cup to unlucky Orpheus?
Musical turned album turned musical.
This is Theater Kid Inception here, you guys. So
I don't
I'm
like
just
this
going
at
to wait
all.
and see what y'all say.
Well, I
Now, I
actually
feel like
saw
it's not Urinetown.
I actually saw a straight play on Broadway called Metamorphosis that I'm pretty sure had Orpheus, but no music.
Wait,
The
like
album would have
Kafka's
been really-
Metamorphosis, or
No. It was not Kafka's Metamorphosis. It was a whole Greek tragedy kind of thing. But it was an original play, not based on a Greek writer. But mostly I remember, and I got cheap tickets from TKTS and was sitting next to a group of tourists who were very upset throughout the whole play that they ended up not being in a musical. So there was definitely no music, and the album would have been really, really, really dull.
I'm honestly hitting on musical turned album turned, like they based the new musical on the album, which was itself based on a musical. Why not just base a musical on the musical? I'm so...
You know what? Street Fighter did that. There was a video game, then there was a movie.
The game,
then there was a
sure,
video game based on the movie. So,
Well, and then there was Hairspray, which, is a movie and a musical and a movie.
and I actually do prefer the second Hairspray movie. I may be alone in that.
See, I think like
You
that,
may
that
be.
that works though, right? Like I think the new producers movie is the same thing. The movie is based on the musical is based on the movie, but the original movie was not a musical, so it's kind of a different thing. But musical to album to musical seems like a different.
But anyway, maybe we should be focusing on what musicals
What the
would
answer
have
is?
Orpheus in them.
Well, okay, so Naaim said it's probably not You're in Town. It might be a different town.
Like Hades
I
Town?
did think it might
Like
be Hades
Hades
Town. I don't know very much about Hades Town.
Neither do I, except that it's Greek.
Okay, well, if it's Greek
Oh.
and if it's Hades Town, I don't know.
I was like, is it Tommy?
Probably
Tommy.
not that. But does anyone have any other ideas?
That was what my guess was going to be too. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that, y'all, and say that. Not
Long
Tommy.
distance
I'm not going with Tommy.
No, not Tommy, but rather Hades Town.
Yeah.
AJ, that's our final answer, I think.
Your final answer is correct with Hades Town.
Ooh,
Yay,
yeah.
teamwork. Well, it was a, I think we were syncing up in the brain cells, so can't take full credit.
Yeah, well, now that we're on this roll, unfortunately, it's time for our first ad break. But stay tuned. We'll see you back in a few. Welcome back to Technically Correct, and specifically to our second round, Technically Incorrect. First, though, remember you can check out Geeks Who Drink pub quizzes in bars across America just about every night and get a quick hit of trivia on YouTube every weekday around lunchtime. Make sure you subscribe to this channel before you go so you don't miss anything. We also have a whole quiz on Twitch every Monday night, and you can even book us to do a private quiz virtually or in person. For details on that stuff, bookmark geekswhodrink.com. Follow us on your socials. Now for technically incorrect. In this round, the panel will have 2 minutes to answer each question like we did before, but no more teamwork. It's every person for themselves. This means we'll be actively trying to psych each other out, and you should be too. Put your most plausible wrong answers in the chat, and we'll throw them into the mix. At the end of the timer, we'll all write down our answers and show them to see who's right, by which I mean we panelists will do that. You don't need to get your whiteboard out. AJ, start us off.
Your first question of the round. Will Smith will again play LAPD officer Daryl Ward in a pending sequel to what dumb film?
I don't know. He doesn't usually do, dumb films. Sometimes they're kind of hokey.
I just watched this film last weekend or 2 weekends ago with my parents. So I'm certain that the answer is Gemini Man, in which he plays himself and a younger version of himself. Because in fact, fun fact, that movie was in development hell for like 20 years. It was written in the 90s, and they just didn't have the CG to do it until 2019 or something like that. Although it's a little weird they use Will Smith because he already looks 20 years younger than he is. That's fine.
I didn't even know
See,
that was a movie.
I don't want to tell you that you're dumb, but you're wrong. Because this is the sequel to Ali. It's Ali 2.
in which Will Smith plays the double role of
Yes.
Muhammad Ali and
Muhammad Ali and LAPD officer Daryl Ward, who is investigating Ali for crack.
Okay. Gemini Man, yes, was directed by Ang Lee. And in fact, fun fact, if you have or haven't seen Gemini Man and didn't know this, the younger version of Will Smith they used is a full CG character. Like they didn't shoot Will Smith and de-age him. They mocapped Will Smith like they did the Hulk or whatever. Ang Lee. And they made a young version of Will Smith. In fact, every time Will Smith would act as young Will Smith, Ang Lee was like, you need to act worse, and then show him a clip from Fresh Prince and be like, act more like this.
Shit.
He's stiffer.
Just play all of his old records on loop.
Yeah.
You know what's a dumb Will Smith movie? It's the live action Aladdin. So somehow they're working an LAPD officer because they have to make it dumber.
Well,
I
after
own the
the
live
genie
action
is
Aladdin on
free, the
Blu-ray.
genie's got to get a job, right? So yeah, I mean, being a genie, being a detective is not that much of a leap because they already know what's going on. So then they just pretend to solve crimes that they already know the answers to.
That sounds like a pretty good USA TV show, to be honest.
Let's find out if it's Aladdin or Gemini Man. Let's see.
I haven't any idea.
Bad boys, Hancock and Bright. That is a point for Derek, with Bright
Wow.
being
Because
the correct
Bright is the
answer.
antithesis of dumb, you dummies.
Also, AJ, I'm really disappointed
even know
because
that
you
movie.
said bad boys, and you did not say what you gonna do. It was right there.
What are you going to do when they come for you? That's my question.
Is it Joel Edgerton is the other guy in Bad Boys? Or is it Joel Kinnaman? I know it's Joel something. I could be wrong on Joel, to be honest.
That was Martin Lawrence.
It was Martin Lawrence, man.
Sorry, did I say Bad Boys? I meant Bright.
Oh. I didn't even know Bright was a Will Smith film, so I was not.
Does
going-
he plays like a CGI monster or something, doesn't he?
He like an orc. I think he plays an orc. I
He's
think
an
I think it's makeup. I haven't seen it.
It
It's
was
on Netflix.
practical.
Basically-
It was
so basically
practical
all-
effects.
Shit or something. I don't know.
So
Practical
basically, all
effects.
Will Smith roles are being replaced with CGI versions of himself. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's starting to sound like.
You know your career-
Aladdin counts.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah. So maybe this is why he looks 20 years younger than he actually is.
Because it's just full CG. Well, you know, because he had the whole thing last year where he was like, he got kind of a dad bod over quarantine. Not last year, this year. And he was like trying to work off his dad bod. So,
Mhm.
you know.
There we go.
Maybe that's why he's going full CG.
Is this Derek going full CG?
That is Derek's CG.
My computer just said, I don't want to show you no more.
What?
But I'm back.
AJ, before Derek turns into a cartoon again, can we have another question?
In 1917, the Yankees' Wally Pipp led Major League Baseball with a whopping 9 whats?
Based on his name, by the way, he was a sentient apple seed, and he led the league with trees grown. Name was Pip. Don't look at me that way.
Is okay. I think that's a Pip. By the way, going back for a second, Bad Boys in Miami, isn't it? I think I just realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bad Boys is set in Miami. Jeez,
Look,
come
I don't
on,
know.
Naaim.
I heard Will Smith and Cop, and I just came up with
No, listen,
something
I made the same
plausible.
mistake. We're kindred spirits here. 9 is a.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say 9 seems like a low number for any baseball stat, but it was 1917, so it could be like walks.
Right. In 1917, they played like one game a week. They were like, you know what? If we can find the time, if the field's not flooded, if we're not going to war against Germany, maybe we'll play a game.
But you know what? I think we're overthinking the baseball side of this because nothing about this question suggests it must be a baseball stat. He's just leading everyone else in that league in hot dog eating contests.